اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم رب اشرح لی صدری ویسر لی امری واحلل عقدۃ من لسانی یفقہوا قولی سب کو عمران قیوم کی طرف سے ہائیکو کی طرف سے ہائیکو پولٹری ہاؤس کنسلٹنٹ ہائیکو اسکول آف پولٹری ایجوکیشن کی طرف سے السلام علیکم امید ہے آپ سب خیریت سے ہوں گے۔ آج کی جو ہمارا کورس کی کلاس ہے فوکس ہے اس میں وینٹیلیشن فار انوائرمنٹل کنٹرول پولٹری ہاؤسز۔ تو آج ہم لوگ اس کنٹیسٹ میں ہم جو ہے ایک آپ کو پریزنٹیشن بھی دیں گے، آپ کو بتائیں گے کہ واٹ از دا فینامنا آف وینٹیلیشن، وائی وی وینٹیلیٹ۔ یہ سب چیزیں بڑی اہم ہیں، اور کیونکہ ہر ایک کو پتہ ہے کہ رائٹ اماؤنٹ آف دیئر اینڈ رائٹ ٹائم should be required for the minimum ventilation. So ہمارا مقصد بھی یہی ہے کہ آپ لوگوں کو اسٹوڈنٹس ہیں انٹرپرینورز ہیں تو انہیں جسٹ آف دا وینٹیلیشن وائی ول وینٹیلیٹ اور بریڈز کی ریکوائرمنٹس جو ہیں وہ بتانی ہے، وینٹیلیشن کا فینامنا بتانا ہے، اس کا اسٹرکچر بتانا ہے۔ تو دیٹس آور ماٹو، اور ہم لوگ جو ہیں آلریڈی اس کام کا بیڑا اٹھایا ہوا ہے۔ ہم لوگ پری کنسلٹنسیز مختلف گروپس میں ہم لوگ 1 آور 3 days in a week جو ہے ہمارے ساتھ پینل ہے ڈاکٹرز کا، پولٹری ہاؤس کنسلٹنٹس کا، اور ہائی کوالیفائڈ ڈاکٹرز ہیں الحمدللہ، اور وہ ہم لوگ یہ کام کر رہے ہیں۔ اور یہ بھی مقصد یہ تھا کہ پولٹری کی جو ایجوکیشن ہے اس کو باضابطہ سرٹیفائڈ کرنا اور ان لوگوں تک پہنچانا کہ جو لوگ جو ہیں انگلش نہیں پڑھ سکتے، انگلش سمجھ نہیں سکتے، اور وہ لوگ بھی جنہوں نے پیپرز تو پڑھے ہیں، اس کے آرٹیکل تو بہت زیادہ پڑھے ہوں گے، لیکن پراپر they don't know that what is the requirements of the ventilation, what is the minimum ventilation, and what is the targets of temperature, what is the batch curves, and what is the ventilation structure, and what the air that we need, and what is the air speed we need in the house. So lot of things we will discuss here inshallah. So میں اب آپ سٹارٹ کرتا ہوں اپنی پریزنٹیشن کا۔ اکثر یہ ہے کہ ہمارے اس میں آپ کو اگر ساؤنڈ کا اگر کوئی دوسرا پرابلم ہے تو پھر آپ ریکنیکٹ ہو جائیں، مے بی سنگل کا ایشو ہوتا ہے۔ سو بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ The topic is of ventilation for the poultry control houses. So we will let you know that what is the ventilation. So poultry house consultant, the goal of the education, the poultry education. So we are doing this, alhamdulillah. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So ventilation for environmental control houses definitely is very important for the well-being of the bird, for the well-being of the staff, and for the well-being of the owner of the farm, and profitability also is concerned with, and a lot of things. So you should know that the basics of the ventilation, the requirements of the birds, and all things, all SOPs, you should know that. So ventilation is I said it, bioventilation. So I will thank in my lectures, first I thank to my Allah, alhamdulillah, and my honorable teacher since 2000, Mr. Werner Gunman from Australia, Doctor of Poultry Ventilation, is the Asia Technical Consultant. He works as Asia Technical in Skov, Denmark. I already visited Denmark. And after he worked in Germany, Big Dutchman, it's a very famous company. Now he's also working in Germany. And I also visited in Germany. And a lot of exhibitions we together attend. So he's my boss, he's my teacher. I really respect him very much. Yes. So in every my presentations, I noticed, I acknowledged my Allah and my teacher. Thank you very much, Mr. Warner Grandman. Maybe you hear this. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Allah. So, अब हम आ जाते हैं ventilation. Side ventilation, there's a lot of modes of the ventilation. We also today will discuss on the modes of the ventilation. And the different type of modes, but people know winter ventilation and summer ventilation. So it should be a negative pressure ventilation, and we should have a negative pressure sensor in our house. And before the ventilation parameters, all things we calculated before the arrival of the chicken. And we make a smoke test. Yes, smoke test, smoke test. We check the behavior of the airs, how air enters in the house. So these are very important things. So first is the timer-based ventilation, and the second is the side mode ventilation, the third is the transitional ventilation, and fourth is tunnel ventilation, and next and last is the tunnel cooling ventilation. And transitional is the between side mode and tunnel ventilation. So the system change when system in side mode we take the air from the inlet. You look this the air come from the inlet. Yes, this is cold air come. You show the color of the air. So at desired speed, you know, side mode cold periods. Yes, this is a cold period when outside temperature is less than or equal to, yes. And the timer-based ventilation, the minimum ventilation, when the outside temperature is less than your house temperature. Yes. Mostly in cold and also in, it depends on the breed, the temperature requirements of the bird. So if you have a chicks in summer, you should use the minimum ventilation. Yes. So this is the side mode ventilation, and the minimum ventilation is side mode ventilation, but it's a timer-based ventilation, and the side mode is a thermostatically controlled fan ventilation. So air comes, you look this, air comes from here, from the inlet at desired airspeed, more than 100 foot per minute. Yes, and the target of this ventilation is that we bring the air from the inlets and hit to the center of the house. Yes, it is very important. After that, it will be go down and mix with the cold air. So between this time, the distance between the inlets and the center of the house, when the air travel, so you know the hot air goes upside, so the cold air comes from the inlets, and the distance he traveled from inlets to center of the house. And in the meantime, the temperature of the outside air is changed, and when it drops to the floor, the temperature looks that the temperature is same as the house temperature. Yes, hot. Yes. So this is also very important. And the next one is this is smoke test. I am telling you before. This is a smoke test. We use a smoke stick. Yes, and the air inlet is open, a little bit open, and it shows the airspeed of the house. Yes. How can we build our best airspeed? So that's the question. Yes. You know, the tunnel fan or side fans, when they start to exertions, they create a vacuum in the house. So house is closed, you know, the control house is fully controlled and fully closed house. So when fans start, the inlets come a little bit opening. So at that time when the fan create a vacuum in the house and the outside air rush in the house. So you look the behavior of the air. So it means that one or two side fans are working in winter ventilation and minimum ventilation. So, and we check that here speed is more than 100, 1000 foot per minute, and here it should be dropped from the house side. It doesn't go to the end of the other side. You must remember this. So we don't allow that. So this is a smoke test, and how we do the smoke test? In Sundays, our webinar on Sunday, yes, with a very expert, veteran expert. He is working 19 years in the poultry field, more than 2,000 houses he built. Although I built it more than 2,000, but he did 2,000, yes, and he will show us the leakage test of the house, the smoke test of the house, so you will be better understand. The next one is thermal mode. And side mode, I tell you that, I told you already that the side mode is the between, tunnel mode is the between side mode, transition mode is the between side mode and tunnel mode. And what happened in the transition mode, that your inlet, the air comes from the inlet, and that time the inlet fully opened. Yes, that is the state when the house system switch over to the tunnel. So the inlets close slightly and the air comes from the pad side. Yes, this side. Yes. You look here, you see the air come from the pad area and it look like a tunnel. So this is a tunnel, but between side mode and tunnel is a transition ventilation. Yes. And we will take the questions end of the session. Yes. So this is a tunnel ventilation. The pads are right side and left side, and also in the back side of the house. So, and the air comes from the outside and comes from the pad, and it takes the water droplets and then it make a effect. So the next one is, तो मैं आपको बता रहा था सारा ये टनल मोड और सारा मैं इसको दोबारा लेके जाऊंगा क्योंकि अभी मुझे थोड़ा सा इसमें कुछ शॉर्ट्स का कुछ स्क्रीन शेयरिंग का प्रॉब्लम आया है हमें, तो हम इसको दोबारा फिर इसको रिवाइज करेंगे। तो मेन जो है हमारा था आज आपको बताना कि वेंटिलेशन जो है उसके मोड ऑफ वेंटिलेशन, कितनी किस्में हैं वेंटिलेशन की और उनके क्या पैरामीटर्स हैं, ये सब चीजें हमारा फोकस था उस पर। और उम्मीद है कि आप हमारी अब नेक्स्ट जो है इसमें नेक्स्ट सेशन में जो हमारा नेक्स्ट अभी लेक्चर होगा तो आप लोग उस पर देखेंगे, उस पर आपको डिटेल्स मिलेगी। थैंक यू वेरी मच।